All right, folks, we are off. So we're going to run through the prologue here. This is going to provide a nice intro to the moves that Madeline has as she begins her ascent up the mountain. So as you can see, Madeline can jump. She can climb and grab onto walls. And in a brief moment from the crow here at the end, we'll be able to dash. And we're going to utilize these tools so that we can make our way up the mountain here. So far so good on both runners. Looks like we're going to try to get a sync going here. Alright, so we'll get underway here in Forsaken City. A beautiful level that'll showcase all of the wonderful tech that the players are going to have. You're going to see some hyper dashing, some wall bounces, maybe an ultra or two, and if we're lucky, we might see a corner boost. We'll see. Already off the bat, unfortunately, Cookiepocalypse taking a death there, but moving their way through nicely. So we have these zippers also in this stage. They will jet in a certain direction as notified by their chains. And they'll provide Madeline with a nice momentum boost if you time getting off of them right before they hit their end of their chain. So Cookiepocalypse making their way through very nicely. Noxitu also not too far behind, a couple screens. This chapter is very short, so it's definitely the first two chapters set the pace of the run itself. As runners get into the third chapter, which is Resort. So Cookiepocalypse making their way towards the end here. Just a few more wall climbs up this left side of the screen. Take care of it nicely. And they are out. Coming in altogether under 2 minutes. Looks like a 156. 155. Nicely done. Noxitu also climbing up. Oh no, missing the wall there. They're getting it and they're out. As we make our way into Chapter 2. Chapter 2, got this nice dreamscape sort of esque place here, and that beautiful dream block there. They don't really do much now, but in a short while we'll see them activate and will allow Madeline to zoom through with a very nice sound effect that's satisfying to hear. There's the Cookiepocalypse go for our minor glitch in the game, where you skip a cutscene and it lines Madeline's Y coordinate up to where she's at, or the centers are on the screen, which allows us to get ourselves in that dream block and save a little bit of time. Noxitu having a little bit of trouble here, but able to get through there. See if he's going to go for the skip too. Oh, missed the dash, but is able to recover nicely. As Cookiepocalypse making their way through the battle and chase. Noxitu, unfortunately, not getting his dash back there, but still able to go through. Nothing detrimental. Just wasn't intended. Kind of like had to stop there and reroute. But Cookie making his way through, taking a death, unfortunately. All right, so Cookie hitting into the final screen. We got 5 Madeline's hot on Madeline's tail. The way they work is that they're going to follow the exact route that Madeline has gone on a 3-second delay. So if you plan your route accordingly, you don't really run into Madeline at all. But there are some tricky places, most notably the screen that Noxitu is about to go into, as well as that final screen where it is easy to get caught up if you don't have things planned out. And Noxitu playing it safe, taking the high road there to avoid bumping into them. As Cookiepocalypse enters the awake portion. So here, there's no real threats in any percent. You basically just want to get through this part as best as you can. The terrain is very uneven, so you have to rely on different heights of your jumps, different hypers, and then dash jumps, etc., etc. Cookie getting through it at a sub 4, clocking in at 3:59, and Noxitu about to start their awake portion. As Cookie heads into Resort, which is my favorite chapter. So we got one. This chapter's noticeably longer than the other two. We got Dust Bunnies. on a cycle. We got some keys and just a lot more things to navigate through as we make our way up the mountain. So one thing also too is that this chapter is the one that relies a lot on cycles. You're gonna enter and the dust bunnies will act a certain way, but if you die, now that I think about it, since you technically have to respawn, it takes away the cycle. It changes a little bit because normally you just walk into a room and you go, right? But if you die, you have to, like right here, you have to respawn. And although the cycle is still the same as if you entered the room, since the respawn is there, you don't get to go about it like you normally would. Look at me just solving mysteries here about why that happens. Alright, so Cookiepocalypse is making the way towards huge mess. Noxitu unfortunately taking a death in his first of many long screens. Ooh, okay, I see you. Narrowly missing death there with a nice hyper out. Alright, so Cookie getting into the huge mess portion. So here we got crates, books, and linen or towels. Just all sorts of clutter. And we are offering to the hotel owner or concierge, Mr. Oshiro, that, hey, we'll clean this up for you. So with huge mess, you have the option of going into any order you want, but we have a predetermined route that we go on. Basically, we want to take care of crates first, followed by books and linen last. And we do this because when you exit out of each section, as you'll see here momentarily, Oshiro is bad. We optimize this so that we go to the room where there isn't a lot of downtime in between talking to Oshiro and continuing to the next portion. Because you do have to talk to him before you can go to the other areas, as they're blocked off by some mystic jello. I don't know what that stuff is called, but we'll just leave it at that. Alright, Noxitu is getting ready for their huge mess portion here. Let's see how Cookie handles this second section with the books. Very nice. I got a 240. As they get ready to take care of some linen. So then Noxitu getting through the huge mess section here. So we're going to see if Cookiepocalypse is going to go for a cycle skip in the next room. Oh, missing the wall there. Let's see. He's gonna. It looks like he's going to go for it. And he gets it nicely done. And a corner boost too. So, quick rundown on corner boosts. Basically, if my memory serves me correct on this, if you are moving towards like the corner of like a platform, and if you are holding grab and you press jump as you collide with it, and you're like 3 pixels, at least 3 pixels below the edge, Madeline will kind of like basically boost off of it and kind of get a little more and keep her momentum. So it's some tech that's semi-recent, but more, it's being implemented more and more in a lot of the higher end runners. So as we progress through the, the search for the fastest times, we'll see more runners actually incorporating those strats. But Cookie's zooming through. Noxitu having a little trouble here in the book section, taking a death there on one of our Dust Bunny friends. Alright, so Cookiepocalypse making their way to the presidential suite here. Just one more screen to go. This room is ridiculously long, and there's lots of dashes and everything they have to take care of, and be mindful to not die because you will lose a lot of time there. But he handles it like a champ as they get ready to take on Oshiro. Off the bat, just bopping him on the head. I think I saw some corner boost attempts there, but kind of ran into some stuff. But they are zooming through. I'm going to go double check on Noxitu, who's working on the towel portion of Huge Mess. Gets to that room. One more room to go. Oh no, dashing up forward. I'm gonna go a little safer there, but makes it out scot-free. As Cookiepocalypse is heading into the final room of Chapter 3. This room is notorious to make or break runs, as we see there. So going back on Death Cycle, runners have the option, for the most part, to leave and re-enter to try to get that cycle back. Unfortunately, during the Oshiro chase, you do not have that option. So if you do cause a death, you are forced to learn the Death Cycle, which for the most part is the same. There might be a few instances, like as you saw there, Cookie having to pause before advancing because that just money was going to clip him. But they're out, still on good pace at a 940 overall. And now Noxitu getting ready for their presidential suite run. Gonna see how he handles getting this key here. Let's count it off here. 1, 2, 3, 4. First try every time. Nicely done. As Cookiepocalypse begins their run through Golden Ridge, excuse me, not Golden Resort. So you got these green bubbles, and the way that they work is you pop into them, and then they shoot at you. They shoot you out in one particular direction, as determined by the player. You do get your dash once you leave out, so you get to. It's basically like an extender, so to speak. One of the things worth noting is that you can actually activate which direction you go earlier than intended by pressing the dash button while you're in there. So it saves a little bit of time, but seeing as you go through so many of these bubbles in chapters 4 and 5, that time save adds up very quickly. And so Noxitu working through their Oshiro fight, running into a little bit of a hiccup here, but able to handle that nicely. Oshiro on like, not today. I'm trying to get off this resort. I'm trying to get out of here. Oh, Cookiepocalypse missing the auto-scrolling skip. Now, this is one of the reasons why I don't like this room in particular, or this chapter in particular, because there's a lot of time you can have the opportunity to save time. I just realized that he was actually going for the ultra strat, or the bunny hop. Yeah, the ultra / bunny hop strat there. So, very nice on him getting that. Now Noxitu getting out of chapter 3, clocking in at a 12:07. Cookie moving through, getting ready for another auto-scroller skip here soon. As Noxitu gets ready to start his ridge attempt. So we're going to see a skip from Cookie's side where they decide to do a extended hyper, off of that block, allowing them to not have to wait until it gets over to the other side. But while that is a safer strat, those blocks do take a very long time before they get to their destinations. So runners will take that extra risk to bypass them just to save a few seconds. Cookie having a great time here. If he keeps it up, it looks like he might be able to pull off a sub 3:30. I'm not sure. It's gonna be close because he's hitting the 3-minute mark right about now. As Noxitu starts making their way through Golden Ridge, getting to this first lock switch, and then opting to go the safe route of climbing the wall, or the intended route, I should say, climbing that wall instead of dashing backwards into the green bubble. Alright, Cookie unfortunately missing the wall there, having to grab that bubble and try it again, but yeah, looks like right around 3:33. So still excellent chapter with that time. As Cookie gets prepared for Mirror Temple. See, Noxitu is going to go for the auto scroll skip. It looks like he's not going to go for it. This is going the intended route. A semi-skip, you know, not waiting until it got all the way over. Alright, so in Mirror Temple, we got these dash blocks. The way that they work is basically every time that Madeline performs a dash, they're going to move into a set direction and then over time reset themselves. One of the cool things about those blocks is that if you actually dash while on them and then follow up with a dash afterwards, you get shot forward with a lot of momentum. I don't think you're going to see it too much in Chapter 5, but you will definitely see it in Chapter 7. As Cookie's making their way, I'm going to see if they're going to go for this skip in the next room here. Let's see. Looks like they might be going for it. Oh, with the corner boost too. Woo! Look at that. Beautiful. You want something to clip. There you go. Then also opting to hit retry. Oh, he's going for double bubble skip. Oh, hold on. Let's go. Let's see. Let's see if he's going to get it. Nope, not getting the corner boost. There we go. Nicely done with the double bubble skip, folks. As he makes his way through this long hall, getting ready to go into the secret portion of Chapter 5. Noxitu in the heavy wind section here. Both runners making their way through. Alright, so Cookie's going into the secret portion. It's a great tutorial to give us an idea on how secrets work. So they have a dash just like Madeline. They can also destroy those red blocks. And there's these sparkly like sections that they can't go through. All this stuff will come into play a few screens down as Cookiepocalypse speaks this portion of Chapter 5. Noxitu handling on the snowball section here, able to get out of that room just a few screens to go before his Chapter 4 is complete. Alright, and then there's our secret buddy on Cookie's screen. As you can see, they kind of like hone in on Madeline and chase you down with... Players going to do their best to try to avoid them at all costs. One of the cool things about them is that they will activate lock switch. And Cookie makes excellent work here. As Noxitu finishes up his Chapter 4, heading into Mirror Temple himself. Alright, so Cookie getting ready for their search skip. Oh, taking a death there. Again, just kind of clipping into those tendrils. Oh, but he gets the third try. Third try is always a charm, folks. He's making his way down, getting ready to run into Theo and save him from who knows what. Instagram or Instapics. I don't know what the name of it is. And now Noxitu also making their way through the temple as well, getting their first key. Let's see if they're going to go for the skip. It does not look like it, but still making a great time getting through that area. And Cookie now handling Theo. So with Theo, we are not able to dash while holding him, so runners will be constantly throwing him, following that up with the dash, and then a jump, and then also to try to catch him. Because if you have momentum while grabbing Theo, you actually will get keep that momentum as you move forward. And sometimes Theo's a little problematic, as we saw there. He was like, I don't want to go across this platform with you, so I'm going to stay right here. So Cookie had to actually go back and get him. Oh, what is this? Noxitu is going for the 5B strat. Let's go. So, folks, the way that this works here is... you do not have to clear 5A to unlock the next chapter. You have the option of grabbing the tape, which Noxitu is doing here, and then going into 5B in clearing that. So very interesting take here. We'll see if it's going to benefit him or not. As Cookie finishes up 5A and is heading into Chapter 6. So the difference between all hearts and hall chapters is for all chapters, you're going to want to actually clear every level. So in this case, you know, finish 5A, finish 1 through 8A, finish 1 through 8B, and then finish 1 through 8C. With all hearts, you just basically need to get every single heart that's in the game. So you can do that by, I think for the most part, you grab the hearts before, way before clearing a chapter. So if you can get that, you can do that. But then, like for example, with Chapter 5, you know, you get the heart, and then you turn around and get the tape, and then you just dip out. Yeah, you can progress the story with the B-sides. So the Noxitu making their way through. It's actually nice to see because it does show like a different way of approaching this section of the game. And obviously 5B is a little more difficult than, you know, so far, Noxitu. For the most part, if you're comfortable with running that, if you feel that you can get through 5B at a very fast pace, then like go for it, you know? Go whatever you're most comfortable with. Alright, so Cookiepocalypse making their way through 6A here. I think it's even been mentioned that some people will, you can also opt to do 6B if you want, but I don't know if that's as advised. Wow, first try getting that. Now, you know what? If I'm not mistaken, I think Noxitu also went for 5B in group play, if I'm not mistaken. But he's going to make through. And get ready for the second half of Chapter 5 here. This Cookiepocalypse is making their way through Reflection. Sorry, folks, I got so caught up on the fact that someone's running 5B in the Any Percent tournament that I forgot to mention all the ins and outs of Chapter 6. For the most part, we have these feathers that are omnidirectional, so if you're on pad and you have an analog stick, it's very nice. You have these cabin blocks where if you slam into any blue border around them, they will basically charge forward in whatever direction you hit from them. So if you hit it from the right, it's going to go right. We have these bumpers which bump you, pretty much. They're probably the closest thing to RNG that I would say in the game because they move around. So sometimes you think that they're on the right spot, and you want to hit it. Like for example, you want to hit one from the right, but it'll just kind of move slightly out of the way that you actually shoot off from the down left, and most often than not, it'll lead to a death. But Cookie heading into the ravine section as Noxitu heading into his Theo portion on 5B. It is greeted by a Seeker almost immediately. I should switch the audio over to Noxitu so we can hear that beautiful 5B remix, but I'm not going to do it just yet. Because we're also about to get the fantastic battle and fight music as well. Alright, so we're going to see if Cookie's going to go for the battle line boost here. So basically you're going to jump over these crystals, and then you're going to wait for the hair to move 4 times. Looks like he is going to go for it. After that 4th time, you're going to do a hyper and a bunny hop. And one more bunny hop, as you see. And it gives you a good amount of momentum into the next screen. So with the battle and fight, you basically are confronting Battlin. She's trying to convince you that you can't climb this mountain, and you're trying to show her otherwise. And she's going to be firing lasers and orbs to impede your progress. The main goal is to get in contact with her, where she'll keep backing herself up until she's got her back against the wall. Which then she'll just make herself a new way, and you just follow through. And there's two, what I like to call 2 rounds. The second round gets a little more intense. We'll talk about that when Cookie gets there. But in the meantime, Noxitu on the last screen of 5B, you got all these like crazy shenanigans, getting ready to do the alternating blocks, and then he'll be out. Alright, he is done coming in at 23:30. Still very impressive. Shoutouts to taking 5B in your run, especially in a tournament setting. So now Cookiepocalypse making their way through, getting ready for the second portion of the battle of fight. A few hiccups there, but they handle it nicely. Alright, so now Cookie heading into the round 2 portion. Basically, it's the same as it ever was, except now these blocks that were kind of like just falling down, Madeline is using them to try to crush Madeline, so we're going to have to be very mindful of that. Also, momentum is going to be amplified, as you've seen there on that platform. Basically, you get to the end of it, it's going to do similar to like almost everything else in the game that has that kind of mechanic where if you jump off of it, you retain the momentum and the velocity. But Cookie making very excellent work through this chapter right now. I'm not sure how well Cookie's summit is, but there is potential for a PB if they consistently get a sub 10. We'll have to wait and see because his PB, or their PB, is 34:05. But now Noxitu also making their way through the beginning of Chapter 6. Alright, Cookie is about to head out and get ready for their attempt at Summit. Noxitu unfortunately taking a death on this second long Kevin block here. I unfortunately did not see what happened. But they get through. Alright, Cookie getting ready to tackle Summit. Noxitu taking alternate routes here. So in Chapter 6, you had the option of either taking a top route or a bottom route. For the most part, runners opt to top. But on a few occasions, such as this one, some runners prefer to take a bottom route. And I think for the most part, all but one room is like faster. But that one room in particular, it's very difficult to get through it as clean as possible. So usually for the most part, it's always going to be the top section until one of the rooms where you actually take the bottom. Which I think it was just that one right there that Noxitu went through. But Cookiepocalypse now on 500 meters. Doing some nice wall bounces there. Is there moving a group into this section? Noxitu getting ready to go into the ravine portion and get prepared for their battle and fight. As Cookiepocalypse getting close to the end of the 500 meter mark here. I'm going to see if he's going to go and clip this and try to get us. Nope. I think he tried to go for it, but dashed too early. So it is possible to actually activate this zipper ahead of the intended time by doing an upwards dash. And I think it might be a quarter boost. Don't quote me on that. But it saves a little bit of time there. As Noxitu is in the ravine portion here. Opting to not go the intended way for the final section, instead doing it the actual way. Instead of taking the intended shortcut. see if Noxitu looks like they're opting to not go for Battle and Boost. Maybe a Battle and Boost Light? Yeah, that's still commendable. Definitely worthy of a Battle and Boost Light if I ever seen one. As Cookiepocalypse, oh my gosh, it was going by so quick. I didn't even realize he made it out of 1,000 meters. He is already in 1,500. And again, with the summit, it's basically the themes of each chapter, because if we're going to go off a storyline, Reflections knocks us all the way back at the bottom of the mountain, and we're basically starting over. This is like the actual real ascent up the mountain. And with 1,500, there's just a lot of long rooms, and just anything can go wrong, but nothing is going wrong for Cookiepocalypse as he nails that second long room with some beautiful ultras. As Noxitu is on their battle and fight. Alright. Cookiepocalypse making their way through. And they're out, heading into 2,000. Noxitu, just a few screens out before getting it around to the battle and fight here. Making a nice routing, getting that dash on his way in. And also right there too, dashing into the feather, which as you transform, you still have your momentum, so it kind of changes the position of where you start. But Noxitu's doing a great job right now. They're on a really good pace. Unless their PB is different from what I've seen on speedrun.com, they very well could PB this run. For Cookie, it's going to be a little tougher as their PB is a 34:05. And it looks like they're about to hit 30 minutes here very shortly. Maybe if they can get through the Chapter 4 section in under sub 30, they might be able to, but even then it could be close. We'll see. And Noxitu getting into the second round of the battle and fight here. So just a few more screens and then their summit trip will begin. Alright, Cookiepocalypse going into 2,500. Noxitu, one last screen before we get our level up here. Cookie missing the jump here, going the intended route by dashing in and causing that block to move out of the way. Oh no, missing the dash block there too, hypering a little too early. They're able to get that nicely. And now Noxitu getting that level up and working their way up through the final portion of Reflection here. As Cookiepocalypse grabs that key. And again, hitting retry so they go zoom and right over there. Alright, so Cookie heading into 3,000 as Noxitu is going into, I think, 500? Alright, Alright, so chat, go ahead and hit those countdowns on those flags. As Cookie enters the home stretch. Alright, so Cookie is zooming through. Already in the updraft portion as Noxitu is making their way through Summit. Again, over on speedrun.com, Noxitu's PB is a 45.50, so technically they are on pace. We'll just have to wait and see. It looks like Cookie took a death there on flag 14. So we're making our way through. Getting into flag 11 here. Oh no, Noxitu losing out on their dashes and not able to continue, having to start this battle line alley-oop section. One more time, but gets to it this time. Cookiepocalypse heading into flag number 9. Skipping out on 8, as most runners do. And getting ready for the home stretch here. Alright, now Cookiepocalypse in the home stretch. Heading into flag 1 as Noxitu is getting through 1500, running into a little bit of problem with these dust bunnies here. Oh no, what just happened? Oh my gosh, I think Cookie took a death on flag 1, but skipped flags 3 and 2, so they have to go through the whole thing again. Oh my gosh, now on flag 2. My goodness. Now Noxitu in 2000. Skipping flag 1 yet again. Oh my gosh. Cookie, what are you doing? Noxitu trying to go for that swag there. Gets it the second time. Alright, so it does look like I have Cookie on air with me. How's it going?
I don't really know like what to say. Some things were like okay, and then I kind of had like a bunch of the run was just like complete awful, and then I did the chapter 4 auto scroller skip for some reason, just because I felt like it.
I noticed that in Summit you went for skipping out on flags 3, or no, flag 2, excuse me, and unfortunately taking a death in flag 1, so you went all the way back to flag 3. Was that skipping those flags? Is that intended, or it just kind of like you were in the flow of things and went about it?
That time, skipping flag 2 wasn't intentional, but it just like happened some of the time with that strat. But skipping flag 1 actually was intentional there. I was gonna be like, wow, I'm so cool. I don't even need checkpoints. And then I died and lost like 30 seconds.
Well, that has been a trend today, because that also happened to somebody else earlier in another race. And actually we found out that they made it all the way to the top at the summit, and they thought that they had triggered the cutscene, but they weren't on the same platform as where the flag was at. So they went to do a dash and then went to skip cutscene to call time, but since they weren't lined up, they actually ended up retrying. And when they went back down to flag 3, there was just no music. It was just all gone. So.
Oh wait, back down to flag 3 from there? Oh, ooh.
Yeah, it was pretty.
I've reset before the summit a couple of times, and now I'm like super careful to make sure I don't do that. Because there's like a little lip of like the platform there that you like can't see, but it like blocks you from hitting the flag, and it happens way too often because of that.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so we're going to chime in with Noxitu real quick. Having a little bit of problems here on the key skip. Not getting enough height. Unfortunately. Ah, there we go. Nice. Alright, so we're going to keep on going here. So, Cookie, it looks like as you're the winner, you're going to be facing Acres next. How do you feel about that matchup?
Honestly, at this point in the tournament, I've kind of like really stopped playing this game a lot. Like, I still like come back and practice a little bit and like make sure I'm not awful like a couple days before my races, but in general it's really only a matter of time until I get like destroyed by like 2 minutes.
Okay.
But like surprisingly, even though this run is like 2 minutes off of my PB, it's not really like, I still feel like I could like keep up with it if I just like had a better run. Because the thing about this is I had twice as many deaths as like probably my average.
Wow.
And like I kind of like gave up on the end of Summit there. Like whatever the last room of 2,500 meters, when I died at the end, I just like was upset and I cried for like 10 minutes.
Oh. Well, cool. Noxitu is now in 3,000 here. Do you have any closing or any other things that you'd like to bring up before I head back into Noxitu's ascent here in 3,000?
No, I just hope that he doesn't also skip flag 2 and 1 and have the same fate.
Yeah, I'm kind of concerned about it because, like I said, this has happened already. So it very well could be like a hot new trend that everybody's trying to go for. So hopefully not, but we'll see. In the meantime, he is on good pace for a PB here. If he can have a solid 3,000, we can see yet another PB in the third race today. But yeah, I'm going to congratulate you, Cookie, on your victory, and I look forward to seeing you in your next match. But I'm going to go ahead and continue on the commentary here. And good luck to you.
Thanks.
Alright, so Noxitu now heading into the updraft portion. of the race here. Again, their PB is 45.50, so they're really close. If it's just like they can get a nice clean updraft, we should see another PB. I'm hoping so. So again, chat, just keep the cheers going on and keep rooting for our runner here, as we all want to see a nice strong finish. So far, so good. I'm saying that with confidence because my commentary curse game has not been on point today. Oh, missing the lock there, but getting it there. Okay, nice, getting through that. Making their way through flag number 12 as they head into 11 here. Alright, moving into 9. Oh no, didn't grab the wall there. Gonna have to do flag 9 over. Alright, gets it that time. Alright. Oh no! Got the neutral jump. Okay, woo, nice save. Had me worried there. So, Noxitu in the home stretch again. He's got a lot of time to get through this last section here. Hopefully, he's not worrying about it too much. It doesn't look like it because he's zooming through this portion. Like he has basically a whole minute to him as he gets to these last portions here. So, I mean, as long as he can keep his composure and also to hit those flags, he should be able to make it. Unfortunately, trying to go a little too fast here. Alright, so he's getting ready to go into flag 2. Alright, well, Noxitu's in chat, so I'm assuming that they're done. There's no way he's typing out GG while doing all this stuff, but I think we are getting a PB here. At least according to speedrun.com, it looks like we are, right? Noxitu is going to finish up at a 44.39. And again, that is going to conclude the race here. We're going to have some more Celeste Any Percent action later, but we are going to head out here as we have more great content coming up. So I'd like to thank both runners for putting on a fantastic show here. And I'm going to sign out and keep you guys up with some more great racing action. So until next time, you guys take care.